Well, for the first time, part of Canada's population is now feeling heard and seen. The 2021 census shows that more than 100,000 Canadians 15 and older identify as transgender or non-binary, those who don't solely identify as either male or female. It's the first count in the country's history. Nicole Martin reports.
I think the data released today can sort of generate a lot of emotions and a sense of belonging, and I did feel that.
Cal Burick is one of 41,355 Canadians who identified in the census as non-binary. The McMaster Associate Professor of Anthropology says it feels good to be seen as part of a larger collective across the country.
The data, of course, affirm what those of us who identify in this way already knew, which is, we are here, we're everywhere.
It's the first time Statistics Canada has differentiated between sex at birth and gender in the census, making Canada the first in the world to do so.
When it comes to official recognition, if you don't measure it, it's not really there. And so measuring is really important to the whole project of social inclusion.
A Change professor Tina Fettner says will offer crucial insight into a marginalized population.
Younger people were much more likely to identify as trans and non-binary than older populations. And so even though it's just a snapshot of the population, it does suggest that in the future, as the population ages, that the size of the trans community will grow.
The data shows about 100,815 people are transgender or non-binary. That's 0.33% of the population.
About 60% of this population were identified as transgender, with slightly more transgender women than transgender men.
When looking at the overall number, Burick says marginalized populations have historically been undercounted.
Trans and non-binary people have, traditionally had pretty negative interactions with the state and state institutions, with immigration, with police, right? All of those institutions. And I think Statistics Canada, it represents the state. So even if you're not sitting in front of someone, people might still be hesitant.
Burick's hope is that others who are anxious to come forward will feel more comfortable in the years to come.
The census change is part of a broader move by the federal Liberals to be more inclusive of the LGBTQ community, and the data that is collected is used by governments to help inform public policy and spending decisions.